because I always have to look for it in my history. Yes. That's what I want. Cool. All right. Got 1 of 5 connected. Come on, Twitch, YouTube. Well, guys, if you get in the chat, definitely say hey so I know we're connected. Cool. All right, now we're definitely connecting. What's up, Kenny? Thanks for joining. Get started in about 1 minute or so. We'll just hang out, wait for some people to join. Kenny, are you watching on Periscope? At least that's what the icon looks like. Paul Babb did? That's awesome. Just need to watch or see if he'll pop in the chat. That'd be cool. Surprised I haven't gotten the email notification from you guys yet. Yeah. Oh, there it is. I just got it. Cool. All right. All right, guys, we'll get started in about 1 minute. I'm going to give it 1 more minute. I know it's 9 already, but let's see if anyone pops in chat or starts joining us. I'll just switch over to this for now while we're waiting. I think we've got everything that I've got set up from the tutorial. Yep. Okay, cool. Chat is working. What's up, Mark? How you doing, man? Houdini Mark. All right, so this week we had the Vertex Maps tutorial come out on controlling materials with a Vertex Map. We'll show you what one looks like. So here's just a nice complicated setup. And here's a vertex attribute that's driving some stuff, and down here, and I'll walk through that again, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like. You can take this morph right there and move it through, and you'll see we get a normal head right there. So I push forward, we get displacement. What's up, Surge? How you doing, man? I like your glasses. But because we're using a sphere, it'll jump forward in the timeline, so it blows up a little bit more. But you can do some really cool stuff with that. Let's see, we get all of our displacement in there. So how to build it. So this is kind of going to be a little bit on pose morph and vertex maps and what they are, and then how to integrate it into these materials. So what I'm going to do is just create a simple material. Let's call it skull simple, and throw it on here so nothing is connected to it. clear this out, clear this out. There we go. Don't need to hit play for now. All right, so we've got this set up. So a vertex map, simply put, is all these little intersections right here are vertices, but if you select them as points, you kind of get really jagged selections. If you select them as edges or polygons, you kind of just have to deal with that. And a vertex map lets you paint on. So if I go to character, what's up, Paul? You are welcome. And you go down to weight tool, so character weight tool, or sorry, paint tool, and select whatever object you want to paint on. We're going to do this main skull. Start painting on it. All this red area means it's not going to do anything. All the yellow area is going to be affected by whatever we decide. So you'll see we get this little vertex map selection there. I'll just call it displace. I'm going to throw a displacer in here. And nothing happens. And that's because we need to put this in here and add a restriction tag. What the restriction tag is going to do is take this vertex map and make the displacement only happen where there's vertex areas. You are welcome, Theopocalypse. That is an awesome name. So under our displacer, let's just go into shading and add in whatever noise. Good enough. I'll hit play on here. You'll see we get these little bumps in there. If I up the height, it goes crazy. And it's super procedural. We can click on this, and if I click on it again, it'll give me some options. And I'll do, I guess, smooth and smooth it out, but I can also bleed it out further. So I can start smoothing this out along the edges here. And then you'll see it updates right in there. Or I can do subtract, get rid of some of it. I can adjust steps and strength. So right in here. You can control pressure if you have a pen. What's up, Billy? This Billy is the one who kind of gave me the idea for a personal project that he's working on. He's using Vertex Maps, and then we started exploring a little bit more, and so you can thank Billy for this idea. So let's subtract.
Billy wants the skull to vape.
Billy does want the skull to vape. For bleeding, if you just hit apply, should be applying. I guess I just have to paint it out. Well, a bleed will just kind of bleed it out from your selections. So that's how the vertex map works. We can go ahead and clear this out, clear that out, and start over. And let's start with a fresh vertex map. So what I'm going to do is to select an entire object. You can hit V on your keyboard, and you get this cool menu of tools and modes and things. Go to select and set vertex weight. For this first selection, we don't want anything selected, so we can just hit 0, and you see the whole skull is red. So that's all well and good, but if you want to start morphing between fully selected or partially selected and things like that, we're going to start using a pose morph. And what the pose morph does is morphs between two different poses, normally in character animation, but we can use it here for our vertex map. So right here you can see position, scale, rotation, everything. We're going to hit maps, and so this base pose is based on this. We select pose 0. We can come in here, come over to this viewport, hit V, do another select vertex weight and set it to 100. And now under strength, well, let me lock this down, select that. You can see we can start to fade in between. So that's cool. That gives you some options, but you can get even more nitpicky and get more control with fall off and noise and things like that by using a Morph Deformer. I don't want a bend. So under our deformers, we're going to get Morph. We're going to go down here, put it on our skull, and I'm going to unlock this. and you'll see I need to put our pose morph tag in here. Nothing's really going to happen at first. You'll see as I slide it back, and that's just because we need to make sure our mode is to animate. And when I come back in, I'll lock this down again, select on this, and it should, I need to do targets. Oh, I screwed something up in the order. Let me unlock these. A vertex map, pose morph, edit, make sure it's there, strength, good. All right, morph, we'll go into that. There we go. Usually, if you watch the tutorial, I had to switch it to animate. Now I had to switch it to edit. If one doesn't work, go to the other. I don't know why it's saying I have to be on edit right now instead of animate. But you'll see it does the same thing. And now we have a fall off tag that we didn't have before. So in the video, I had a sphere going. I'll just start with a noise because that's fun. And we'll move it up here. And let's do like, I'll just do a global scale bit. And we'll do 300 by 300 by 300. See? I think I do have to go to animate because it's still not doing it. So animate, come back to this. There we go. I don't know why it was being picky. I know it's supposed to be on animate. So there we go. You can see that we get these like little noise patches in here. And if we adjust our clipping heights down below, what's up, Kwong? Thanks for joining us. So our clips here, we get hotter and cooler spots, and we can do a ton more with it. Maybe we just bring this global scale down to like 50. We get some like super spots. All right, so that's all well and good, but it's not doing anything for our material. You'll see it's still plastic. So what we're gonna do is come in here and we're gonna just keep our plastic. I think what I'm gonna do is change it to something really vibrant so it's obvious, like a pink. And then we'll do another material. I guess I can just copy and paste this. And let's say aluminum, because that'll be easy to see. What we're going to do is use this vertex map to blend between the two. So we're going to need a material blender. Throw this in here. What the material blender does is, just like it sounds like, you can blend between your materials. So we'll connect this into here. This will be our base. We'll throw this one into here. It'll be layer 1. And our base, I'll rename to base. This will be metal. Cool. So it's pretty easy to figure out what to do at this point. If you do a search for vertex, you'll see that there's actually a vertex attribute node, and that means you can pull in this information. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here and bring this into our blender under layer 1 and blend color. And you actually don't have to set this color. I thought you had to, but it will work if you leave it pink. But if you go to white, you'll see it does the same thing. It reads it just fine. So you don't really need to mess with that. That was something I did in the tutorial if you've seen this before. So you actually don't have to update that color. But as we move around, you can see we now get these two materials blending together based on this noise fall off. If I move this, you'll see it animates in here. Go back, animates in there. So you can start doing some really complex things if you want to. So under fall off, you could set it to say a cone. And maybe this cone is only half a cone. And we can scale the Y up like that. And Teeb, what's up? How you doing? Thank you for joining us. And we can put our cone like that. I think I'm going to rotate our fall off just a bit so it's that way. Come over here, go like that. And what is that? Z. Yeah, get our Z going out a little bit more. So now you can have this interesting fall off of like a two-face kind of deal going on just for giggles. Merhaba. I don't know what merhaba means. Merhaba. Hello there. Cool. Well, merhaba. What's up, Mark? You've been joining like every week, dude, and you like comment on everything. You're an awesome fan. Thank you very much. So just for giggles, I was thinking maybe we can do something with like skin or subsurface scattering. I'm going to go back to plastic here on this one. Bring the diffuse down, bring this up. We'll do the poor man's version of it. Maybe some blue. You can see we get some subsurface scattering in there. And if I bring this down a little bit more. Okay. Vitus, what's up, man? How are you? Thank you for joining. And I'm going to bring the fall off back a little bit. You can see it gets a lot harsher. There we go. Cool. All right, so now we're starting to get like a plastic shape over here and then this poor man subsurface scattering. If I make a light, bring in a point light, bring it up here, put it in the middle of the head. And I'm going to crank this. Oh, I have my attributes locked. There we go. Do like 10,000. Maybe move it back in a little bit more. Get some cool effects going. So now we've got half plastic face, half subsurface scattering. That's good to hear. I am glad you're enjoying Redshift. I am learning more and more people are enjoying Redshift. It's pretty awesome. People that I thought were like super Octane users are even starting to try it out a little bit. So that's good to hear. Not that I want people to switch from Octane or Cycles or, Corona or whatever. Pretty agnostic. It's just cool to have more community and people to talk to and run ideas past and keep learning and, showing each other stuff, because I don't know everything, but there's people out there that just do this all day long with experimentation, and then I can learn from them, and then I can pass it on to you guys, and it's just a big Mufasa circle of life. What's up, Matt? Is that you? I assume it's Matt in chat. So what was I going to do? I was going to go back to a noise, because that might look pretty cool with the subsurface. So there we go. And where's our light? Right in there. Nope, that's not our light. Light, select. There we go. Maybe bring this back up some. Take off a 0. Cool. All right, I'm going to go in the camera, start messing with our exposure a little bit, allow overexposure so we can get a little bit of extra glow in there. Maybe I can, well, let me go up to that. No. That's okay. We can oversaturate it just a little bit. Maybe 1.5. Cool. Maybe we'll go in and throw just a bouquet on here. See if we can get something going. Oh, wrong one. Okay. Sure. And we'll just do unit intensity. Cool. And crank it. I guess that was a little too much. We can bring our aspect ratio down a bit. Maybe we'll do like a 200 film speed. That's blowing it out too much. All right, we'll keep it at 100. Do like a 3.4. That's blowing it out a lot. Try like a 6. I guess 8 was okay where it was. So yeah, you can start getting some cool stuff. It's Dave. Dave is in chat. That's weird, because he's in chat with me too. Hey Casey, I didn't see you come in, man. How's it going, dude? So yeah, you can do some really cool, complicated look dev stuff. So we've got a subsurface scattering, or like poor man's subsurface scattering, and that face. Maybe we can go in and change this to iron, like that, and then now we're starting to get like a heavy metal feel. And this one, I'll go up to, I'm gonna rename this so I don't get confused. I'm gonna turn this back to a custom. Cool, got that. All right, so maybe we can bring in some actual subsurface scattering and like some kind of pinks on top. No, diffuse has to be on. Do I need to turn up my absorption? Maybe I'll just do a skin in here, because I want it to be skin. Nope, not the metal one. There we go. Get out of there, put this in. It's a little bit orange skin, but that's okay. Get a Minas. I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome, Claude from Brazil. That's awesome. I don't know any Portuguese. Sorry. But if I did, I would speak Portuguese. That's pretty cool. So maybe we'll do that. We're gonna scale down, soften it up a little bit. It's kind of getting too involved with the metal. What's up, Brandon? Hell yeah, School of Motion represent. Brandon is a School of Motion alumni, which is awesome. So now we're getting like some weird... Thanks, Claude. That's awesome. Or Claude Mir. Sorry, I was kind of looking out of the corner of my eye and see that now it's longer than Claude. But thanks, that's awesome. I'm glad that you are enjoying it. So we can start tweaking some of this, get a little bit more scale, but you can kind of play with it and get like a Terminator feel and do lots of different things. If you want to add some scratches to the base metal, we can start doing that. I'm gonna just do a triplanar. Actually, to make my life a lot easier and I don't have to load any more textures, go into this and copy that out. One base, and Luminous. There we go. Should start adding in some scratches. Maybe I need to get a diffuse one too. Anyone that has been messing with Redshift for a while, I am on 2.5.46. I've noticed since going to 0.46, even with undersampling on, it's like the undersampling's broken. So I can adjust it to 2 and all that. But if anyone else out there is having that issue too, let me know, because I want to +1 it on the forum, or at least get it going on the forum, because it's getting obnoxious. This is gloss, right? Glossiness, reflectance. Okay, that's going. All right, I'll just go back in and get another one from the skull base. Just bring in the normal map. Doot. Go down to overall, put it in our bump. Let's see if that starts giving it to us. There we go. Got some scratches only in the metal. Of course, where the vertex map kind of fades off, you'll get more extremes bleeding into this like skin area. But yeah, some just fun stuff you can do. I wonder if I put an incandescent. I haven't tried that. Let's see. Yep. So you can turn it into a light too, I guess, or like partial light. And, you know, maybe play with the temperature a little bit. I turn off. No, it still works double-sided. Cool. Oh, there we go. And maybe turn down the reflection just a little bit. So just a lot of fun stuff you can do just by, you know, setting up a vertex map and changing your pose morph information. I'm going to go back to the cone that we had before, do a 50-50 split. What else? Car paint, even though that's not going to be much different than iron on the other side. We can do that. It's actually looking kind of nice. I'm digging that split. Come in like that. Just only have it up in this area. Thanks Best Buy for the pop-up email. So yeah, I'm going to just open it up to questions. So if anyone's got questions, I can keep messing around or can talk about things and, you know, just Q&A it for a bit. If you weren't here from the beginning, no worries. I'm just going over the tutorial from earlier this week. So yeah, if you missed it, you can just click on back to the tutorial, and I think it's like a 10-minute tutorial this week. It's very fast to set up and get going and move through and get some complicated stuff. Might just keep playing with this a little bit while I wait for some questions to roll in. Get some more flakes in here. And crank up that decay distance. Variation, get some bigger scale. So pigment color. Let's do. Just got back from Best Buy. I think that's what just popped up in my email, or at least it said something 4K, something blah blah blah. Am I using a light to control the vertex map? I am not using a light to control the vertex map. This light is inside the skull, and then the rest are just kind of around the scene. I need to choose a color apparently before I can click. So the cone, all right. So this light is inside the head because I was doing some of that like subsurface scattering and fall off. This cone is a Morph Deformer, and it's got a fall off right here. Octane Jesus interrupting. So you can change this to whatever you want, and let's say I bring that down there, and we can mess with the scale a little bit, so you can start animating your materials if you want. Then I've got this vertex map set up. David's back again in the corner. He must know that I'm streaming and just wants to chime in. David and I are working on a project together, so he's giving me feedback on some stuff. So, Brandon, to answer your question, that cone is coming from this Morph Deformer right here. The Morph Deformer is getting its information from this Pose Morph, which is getting its information from this Vertex Map. And it's really just a pose morph between two different poses of the Vertex Map. So it is a non-selection Vertex Map. Let me see if I can get that up for you. Kill that. So if I go into the pose morph and slide down, I probably need to lock that. There we go. All right, so if I slide down the strength, you'll see it goes all the way red, which means 0 selection. If I go all the way up, it means full selection. And then if I turn this back on, it starts pulling the information from this pose morph and gives you a little bit more control because it has a fall off tag and some other stuff too. And you can have multiple targets too. So, here's target 1. But if you want to bring in another morph tag, then you could have another vertex map set up. And then if you missed it in the beginning, I was playing with noise, but I think you've probably been around long enough to see. You can have a noise fall off now. I think that's new to R19. And say if I scale it down really small, you can do stuff like that, or it can go up really large. So you get kind of like this organic sweep of noise. And let's do like macaroni. Change that. Now if I go around, see all this going on. Yeah, way more control than animating a gradient texture. So, and you can do both too. Can you use the vertex map to drive? Oh yeah, totally. That's what I did in this one. I'll just throw this one in here. So Mark was asking, if you aren't in the chat, can you use the vertex map to drive Redshift displacement? So in this advanced one that I got set up, I have a displacement down here. Let me zoom in. Here's our vertex map. I might need to, yeah, okay, I left that named vertex map. And so it's our base color, and then also the layer mask. And if you go watch the tutorial, I threw up the file this week again, so it's got a Gumroad link. You can go download it and look at it too. Everything in there is completely Creative Commons, even this skull. But here's a displacement texture going into a triplanar map and then into the actual displacement. So if I go back to the cone of shame, and move this over, bring it down, get a little bit more in there, refresh the scene, since undersampling is not keeping up. You'll see we've got this displacement in there on half, and then over here, nothing. And to make this a little bit more visible, let's, instead of aluminum, I'll just do, I guess, let's do a paper. That should be fun. So we've got paper, and then this is aluminum too. Let me do iron, because that will be at least darker so you can see. Oh, maybe not. Here, instead of paper, I will do plastic. I'll just do custom since it will be a plastic anyway. And we can do a dark blue. There we go. Well, I guess it's kind of a purple. But now you can see the difference and where the fall off is hitting and everything. Off topic, does RS have it? No, it doesn't have a scatter object. This comes up a lot. I hope that they put a scatter object. I've seen people talk about it in the forum. I can talk about that a little bit though, about how to do it. There's a couple of different ways. Just close this out. So way one, of course, is to just do a cloner with proxies. So I guess I'll just do that. I need a cloner, and I'll go find a proxy. Proxies. If you can't guess, there's a proxy tutorial, so you can learn how to do this. And I'll just get a tree, bring this in, and I don't have any lighting, so we'll just do a dome light, whatever, HDRI, road trip, blah, blah. Sure, forest scene. Just get this set up for you really quick, Brandon. And I don't think I need to do anything else, or I guess turn off the background. So it's just going to process that texture really quickly. Load it into its cache. Oh, it's also bringing the textures from this proxy right there. But really quick while it's loading, if you don't know what a proxy is, it's basically like Redshift's own Alembic file or equivalent, and it holds textures and geometry and animation even. So you can see this is from Megascans. It's super detailed, but it's actually not in the scene. So if I put it in the cloner here, and you're like, I don't want to do honeycomb. How about radial? So it keeps it nice and lightweight, and of course, turn on instances, get your instances, blow that up. Now it seems like my undersampling is working. Maybe it's just the other scene is corrupt or something, because that's loading really fast. So that's way number one, and of course you can scatter this on a plane, but that's not that great. So way number two that people have figured out is do like an X particle system, create an emitter. I will create a plane. We'll just do a disk, that's fine. All right, so put that up here. Let's do a shot. Yeah, you have to do a little pre-gaming. That's a good way to put it. You can't just turn it on like Octane Scatter, but there are definitely ways around it, especially using a proxy, which apparently I deleted out of here when I got rid of the cloner. Didn't mean to do that. Bringing that back. Disk. Particles. So we're gonna go into our emitter and change it to shot, go to object, change it to object, which will be this disk. All right. So this is where it gets fun. I'm gonna hit play. Oh, I didn't do stick. Let's see, where is stick? There it is. All right, so we'll do stick, and you'll see it goes to the polygon center. That's all great, but if you go into modifiers, we can put a little bit of turbulence on this. When it fires out, it should be, maybe because it's doing from the center. Let me try the edges or points. They actually show up. There we go. So if you do area, it'll scatter it around. So the fun part, something that's really awesome that I like a lot about Redshift is if you throw a Redshift tag on these, Redshift object, you get this particle tag. You can do sphere instances. So you see we get all these spheres, and it's based on this color up here. So let's do orange. If I fire it again, it'll be orange. All right, cool. That's cool. Really quick particles just with a tag. But if you go to custom objects, I can drop Mr. Tree in there, and then we get Mr. Tree instanced a ton, and we can control that by our, I think our scale. It might be radius. I always forget. I'm gonna have to screw around with this for a second. All right, it's probably going to be radius, so we'll do like 0.05. There we go. So if you change your radius, yeah, right, Brandon? So that's awesome. And I'll just think, oh, I can't turn him off, so I'll just have to move him out of the way. All right, so totally awesome. Makes it super fast, and I'm not on the dome. There we go. So we'll take a look at that. And of course, with the turbulence, you can change everything about it, how it rotates and blah, blah, blah. There's one other thing I was going to show you, and I forgot when you got super excited, and I got super excited. But yeah. Oh, I remember what it was. So let's bring in another proxy. Bring in this stump, and we can go in here. It's loading the textures. Just give it a second to catch up. So when it says custom objects, it really means custom objects. And put that in there. I think it's still processing the textures. Give it a second. Put this up here too. All right. So there's this high quality stump right there. Get that out of the frame. All right, so hit play. Boom. So now, just as you expect, it randomizes those as well. So in here we start to get this little decrepit forest. So on one hand, it sucks because you don't just have an object like you do in Octane to do this. On the other hand, you kind of get a little bit more control in some ways because you have X particles and you can do so much with that. So I guess that's the trade-off. You have to pay money to get it. I'm sure you can do it with thinking particles too, but man, thinking particles suck. So yeah, magic, as Kira says. What's up, Kira? Or Kira? You got to tell me if I am butchering your name, because you've been being super active lately, and I don't want to keep butchering it. Is it key, like a car key or a house key, or is it Kira, like expect? Can't wait to run XP XP4 in ours. Yeah, I can't wait to run XP4 at all. Like in general, it's going to be awesome. I wish they had a little bit better deal for their upgrade from 3.5, but you know, it's going to be awesome, especially like some of that gravity stuff that they've got going on now. That's just great. Yeah, but if you haven't watched the X Particles tutorial, that's super short as well. I've been keeping them really short lately, just to give people quick dives into using a tag to do this or that. But I can probably bring it up really quick. X Particles. What was I going to say? You can get some really cool stuff done pretty easily. I'll stop play on that. Just let this play. I probably don't have the cache anymore. I respond to any form of your name. Well, you shouldn't have to respond to any form of your name. Like, my daughter's name is Kaylin, and people call her Caitlin all the time. And she is 5, so she has like a little mini hissy fit over it every time. I tell her, just correct people. Yeah, Brian, if you have a chance, I do a whole tutorial on this scene here, which you can see is super fast. And man, I just got 2 new 1080 Ti's today and put them in, and I still have a 980, but I actually turned off the 980 just so it would focus on my monitors. And man, the 1080s are fast. That's awesome. I had 3 980s before, and it was not this fast for sure. So just running off 2 cards, I'm gonna have to upgrade to a third 1080 next time I get paid. 'Cause damn, that is fast. But yeah, all this right here, Brandon, if you go watch it, it's instances, and you can go get the file if you want and open up and play with it and create a cache. But it's just a tag right here on the base, which is for these spheres, and then a trail right here. And yeah, man, X Particles 4 is going to be crazy. So I'm going to scroll through, see if I've got any questions, because we're already coming up on an hour. So let's see. Billy is, yeah, David was back in the corner. Nobody puts Octane Jesus in the corner, but he was there. Magic. All right, man. A lot of activity, but not so many questions. So if you're watching and you've got a question, definitely throw it at me. It can be anything. If I don't know the answer, I will try and find it and make a tutorial about it, so I can know the answer for next time. Yeah, it doesn't. Also, I should say, it doesn't have to pertain just to Redshift. So if you have a question about Cinema4D or anything, any chance for more? Yeah, I mean, what are you looking for in the tutorial? If there's specifics, I can definitely cover them. So like, I know a lot of people have been wondering about randomization. I did that on a live stream a couple weeks ago, but maybe we can get that going again. I'm really bad with the randomization stuff. It just isn't super intuitive to me, but I'll try it again right now. We'll just make a quick little emitter and material. But yeah, Vincent, what are you looking for with X Particles? And I will try and help you out, dude. Redshift object. Yeah, I can show Dem Earth in the future. It's not anything special to have to set up Dem Earth with Redshift. It's just like a heavy program is the only downside. So if we just get this, wherever this is pulling in from, it kind of looks like a volcano. And I'm not going to go through all of Dem Earth, but down here you can set your height and width and subdivision and all that. So like 500, something realistic and cool, I guess. So you like looking for fluids, like fluid simulation, Vincent, or like fire, or what? Because fluid and fire aren't quite compatible with XP at the moment. It is, I think, with Turbulence FD and maybe even RealFlow. I don't have Turbulence FD or RealFlow, but yeah, I have used the new asset manager. I can talk about that in a second too, Kira. But yeah, Vincent, what kind of realistic are you looking for? Yeah, the asset manager feels like it's built into here. Like if you look at it, it looks almost identical to not Material Exchanger, Texture Manager down here. Like you can't get more of a copy. So hopefully at some point they'll get it baked into the actual Texture Manager. TFD is rad, but it chokes Octane. Well, maybe I can convince them to let me have like a demo version of TFD or something, because you can definitely use it with Redshift. I just don't have it, but I know how to set the materials up for it. But here's the asset manager, Kira. So it works really well, and it has everything that you would expect: globalize, localize, relink, all that. So if you are going to send it out to a render farm or pass off the file to somebody that you're working with in a studio or freelance or whatever, it makes it super easy. But Octane's got it built right into the texture manager, so maybe Redshift can do that. Anyway, back onto Dem Earth. So here's all the normal stuff, and man, pop-ups, remapping, how much height you want, world info, where you can set specifically where you want. So you can go to Google Maps and look up your city and put it in here. So let's just do this. There's a disclaimer that you can only have so much information, blah, blah, blah. So in this map loader, this is where you get the texture. Just hit download texture. Sure. It's got 35 tiles. It should be pretty fast. It's already at 13, 15. Specifically, scatter and absorption volumes. Well, I have a VDB tutorial that covers those, but I can talk about them more at some point. So, as you can see, Redshift will convert a C4D material, which it's doing right here. And if you want to make it into a Redshift material, you can come in here and just get this image. Copy, go into here. I'll make a texture node and put it right here. Where'd my node go? What? How color? Why are you doing this? Redshift. I guess it's not really Redshift, it's Espresso. And really quickly, you can select this, throw that on there, and it's the same thing. That's all you have to do for Dem Earth. And the fact that it's kind of a light texture file, you can just drag it into the node editor. Drag what into the node editor? The texture? Like, if I lock this, is that what you're saying? Go in here. Oh man, I did not know that. That's awesome, Kira. Billy, if you were still watching, you were super upset about this the other day, and I said, no, that's not possible. Well, it is possible, because look, thank you so much. That's awesome. Man, that's cool. Wow, thanks. The more you know. I need a rainbow. So yeah, you can start messing with your diffuse and roughness and bring this back. And of course, if you want to pipe it into your reflection color, then you can have a little bit more control over your reflection. And bring the reflection down, bring up our roughness. So you can play with it to your heart's content and, get it exactly however you want and get all that detail in there. So Billy, isn't that what you were trying to do the other day? Is just drag it in there. Do you know, can you drag it in from like an Explorer window? Does that work? Let me move that over here. And I really want a texture that's just readily available. Media and storage. Just do a stock image. Photos. No, you can't just drag in. Okay. That's all right. Can you just drag in to these? No, it acts like it's going to drag in, but it doesn't. Okay, that's all right. I wonder, Billy, having my ADD moment about all this. Haha. So Billy, next time, you know what you could probably do, man, is set up a material, just like a blank one with your textures where you want them. So say diffuse color, roughness, all that, as you were breaking it down with your Megascans texture. And I bet you can go into the asset manager like you've got, or like I've got right here, and you can see each material that it's applied to. And so you can just duplicate it and then swap them out, because the file name will say, albedo or diffuse and roughness and all that. So that might be your ticket to quickly getting through that workflow. So yeah, Claudemir, this is Dem Earth. Pretty simple to go through, and you can play with it to your heart's content, and add subdivisions. And if I make that like 1500, man, indeed, get out of here. And then you can download another map, and it'll be even more high res and things like that. I really wish it would download a normal map with it. I don't think it does. Yeah, it doesn't. You can also drag files from Explorer. Maybe it's because I'm not using actual Explorer. Right. Explorer, File Explorer. All right. Let's do this. Pokeballs. See, I'm trying to drag it to work. Do I have to do it right into the... See? What am I doing wrong? Do I need to select here? It gives me the little copy thing, but it doesn't actually do it. What else? Yeah, if you're interested in Dim Earth, I have Forester as well, but it's pretty much the same thing. Like, look, a rock. And then, you know, I can texture it. Maybe restart C4D. Maybe, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Maybe it's something that happened in R19. Ovo Cash TV is giving away 3 iPhone 8s to my last 3 subscribers. You still have a chance to win right now. Oh man, does that not sound like a scam at all? Ovo Cash TV. That just sounds about as good as bail bonds. Let me hop right over there, Ovo Cash TV. Thanks so much. Sad.
That's on your YouTube channel. You can kick him.
Yeah, that's okay. You can promote. I don't care. I'll restart really quick and see if I can drag in. Boot. Yeah, it's probably a bot. Yeah, Brandon, sign up, dude. Go get that free iPhone. It's on my channel because we're streaming to multiple channels. So if you're not seeing that in the chat, it's just because it's not whatever. Not in the Brograph one is the word I'm trying to say. All right, so I restarted material. Go in the shade graph. Go Explorer. All right, try this again. Yeah, it does not do it for me. Texture, there we go. Nope. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. That doesn't work for me. But it did definitely work from pulling it from a C4D material. I wonder, can I go to just a regular espresso? Yeah, I can't drag it into espresso either. Not that this isn't espresso, it is. So it is 10:02. So last call for questions, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Miguel, I seriously just made that hand movement. Like, if you could see me right now, I'll just switch back. I was kind of like this, but just lower down. You cannot drag if you run C4D as admin. Interesting. All right, let me try it. I guess I'll restart and not run it as admin. Come on, let me right click, there we go. Properties. All right. Try this again. Mind meld. We are mind melding. We can go save the Pacific Rim and drive giant robots. All right. Here we go. Round 2. Redshift layout. Material. Give myself a little bit more room. Billy, do you run yours in admin mode? I usually run it because it seems like Octane and Redshift just run better in admin. It's an old habit from being an Octane user, but that's awesome. Billy, look. We did it. Oh, man. So that means like, oh, man. If I go, can I do multiple ones at the same time? All right. Before I sign off, I got to try this out. Let's see. Textures. No, I need to go to my stock. Stock. Photos. And textures. TFM. Because if I can grab all of these at once, I'm going to poop my pants. Nope. Only grabs the last one. Unless, are they stacked? Oh, they're stacked. That's awesome. Kira, that's awesome. I would throw my shoe at you in praise like they do in church and gospel. Woo! That's awesome. I'm throwing my hands in the air. Oh my God, no. Billy, this is turning into a Christian channel, dude. Just like yours. We gotta promote. All right, are you saying your life is a lie to this? All right, let's wave it in Billy's face again. All right, so they're stacked. Yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm never running as admin again. That is so crazy. All right, well, man, you guys like totally turned out tonight. So thank you so much for coming out. Normal spiel. If you want to hang out with us, either me or Brograph and the Brograph podcast and channel, they have a Slack now. It's, God, I think it's like close to 200 members now. Let me check. 160. So it's getting up there. Just fun to come in and hang out and ask questions since, I'm not doing this every day. So come in, ask questions, chat about topic ideas, things like that. We've got an Octane channel, Redshift channel. You can pray to Octane Jesus in there and his own channel. But that is at brograph.com/Slack. And of course, go listen to the podcast. You can find them everywhere at Brograph, and myself. Just do a search for 531. I'm not going to spell it out and talk about hyphens and underscores because I can never get the name on any social media, but just search Google for 531 and you will find me. Or Liam Clisham, of course, my name. So we will see you next week. And if you have any suggestions for tutorial topics, email me, Liam, at 531.com. Of course, go look up how to spell 531, or Brograph at brograph.com. They will pass it on to me, of course, or comment on the video because I check the comments regularly. All right, guys, have a great night. Thank you so much for hanging out.